different for the reason that today I'm not going to present any slides. The reason is I didn't have time for me to prepare the slides today because from morning until 6 o'clock I had a doctor's conference and then so we were very busy there. But anyway, I have already prepared mentally that what I need to speak to all of you down today. And in that way, the topic was a little, I would say, a different topic. I thought, let me talk today, instead of talking every time about the disease, let me talk about something to do with our breakfast. Every one of you know that the moment you put the importance of breakfast on the Google, it will give you all the details why you should eat a breakfast. But there is something I thought I need to share this information, which probably you all need to look into for the reason that many of us have been taking our health for granted, and most of the time it's not that we can't change, but most of the time it's that we are used to what we have been doing, and for which our body gets used to it. And then at a particular stage of your life, especially when you're in your 50s and above that, and when you start getting some disturbance in the form of aches and pains, and in the form of some situation where you go to the doctor also still cannot pick up the diagnosis in spite of getting all the investigation done. So in that way, it's ideally good that as young as possible, we have a proper protocol, proper plan of exactly what we need to do in our day-to-day life. Now, this brings in a situation where we all need to get disciplined. Now, this is the first step in our journey wherein we all need to get disciplined in whatever we do. Now, in that way, when you're looking at breakfast, the word by itself is basically telling you have been fasting and you're going to break the fast. Now, there are some people who would be having their breakfast at around 11 a.m. in the morning, and sometimes one shot, it will be like more like a lunch, skipping the breakfast. But if you look at all our ancestors, our grandparents, our great-grandparents, those days, most of our people had a proper job, and business was not a big deal that time because not many of them were doing businesses. And especially just imagine the multi-level marketing businesses that was not even heard of, because I really uh, if I recollect, I heard about this network marketing sometime in 1995. That was the first time when I heard that there is something called network marketing. And then from then on, that time they were telling the future will be network marketing. But today you see every other company comes out with any new one product also, they come out in a concept where it is mostly a network marketing. Like going back to our great grandparents and our parents, basically 40 years ago or 50 years ago, they had a proper schedule. Like morning you would see between 7 to 8 they will have their breakfast, then lunch will be sometime between 1 to 2, and their dinner mostly will be early dinner. It will be between 6 to 7. So when I'm going to speak about the breakfast, it's always better we go reverse a little bit behind the previous night and then we come back to the breakfast is much more beneficial. For the reason is what you have eaten the previous night is going to get digested, and then of course the next day morning there are certain situations you will probably have to face. So in that way, it's always better for all of us to have an early dinner. If it can be done between 6 to 7 p.m. will be good, but we can get it a little prolonged. Between 7 to 8 will be an ideal time. But today, most of us working in KL or everyday traveling, and by the time we come back home, it's around 8 o'clock. So what I would say is, depending on your work schedule, at least try to have an early dinner. Will be an ideal situation, will be good for you in a long run. Because whatever excuses you're giving, maybe for me it's still okay, I can accept your excuses and then we still can move forward, but your body will not be able to accept those situations for the reason the body functions are very standard. There is a protocol for all your organs. There is a timing for your organs for them to start functioning, and there is a specific juices which will be created when you eat your food. Now, in that way, the best options we have right now for the food, what you're going to eat in the dinner time would be have a light dinner, preferably something like porridge, something like cooked vegetables. It should be light in such a way that it should be able to digest your food by 10 o'clock. Now, why do we see the moment we eat our food, most probably it takes 2 hours for our digestive system in the stomach to churn it up, and then mix it up and then push it down into your intestine. It takes 2 hours. Now, this 2 hours, I'm talking if you're talking about eating vegetarian food or vegetables or fruits or porridge, which is much more easier. Now, there is another area of situation which we need to really look into is if at all, if you're consuming non-vegetarian, if it's going to be meat, it can be red meat or white meat. What will happen is definitely if you're consuming meat, the digestive process takes a little longer. It can go up to from 4 hours to 8 hours also. Still, the digestive process will be going on. And in that way, what we all need to understand is if you think that your body is a machine, your body is a machine, definitely the body will tell you, see, after 10 o'clock, if you're going to eat any food, definitely it will do its job. It is not that it is not going to do a job that if you're going to eat your food, your system will say, sorry, ma'am, I have already finished, I've shut down everything, and then it'll push everything back and you vomit out. It doesn't happen that way. So in that way, most of the time, our body still accepts, even if you're going to eat at after 10 o'clock, even midnight, you're going to eat like late supper, it's still going to accept it. Now, if it's once in a while, your body is still okay, you can manage. But please see to that your dinner should be preferably early dinner is the best, and light dinner will be the best. And now coming back to eating any kind of meat, it is always ideal that you have your meat or any heavy meal you want to have, it should be in the afternoon. The reason, of course, you'll be awake and then you're working. So there is a lot of chances that when you eat a heavy meal, definitely for the next 6 to 8 hours, the digestive process will take care, is done properly, and then it will prepare yourself for at least going back to bed will be a much more smoother situation. Now, the second situation is once you finish off your dinner, then after that, what will happen is, of course, depending on the age, consuming water would be an ideal before, maybe around just before going to sleep, have some warm water, maybe around 100 to 200 ml, but all depends on how healthy are you. Because many a times people who are above 50 years, they will say, doctor, after drinking the water, I have to go to toilet. So definitely it is not an ideal situation that you get up every now and then to go to your washroom, may not be a situation. So in that cases, those situations, I would say, please finish off drinking water also before 8 o'clock, and after that, do not drink any liquid so that you don't get up while you're asleep. Now, there is something which your body produces naturally is something called melatonin. Now, melatonin is a hormone which actually will start into your bloodstream after you switch off your lights, and in 1 hour's time you switch off your light, or it could be even your mobile phone. You're seeing your mobile phone, when there is a bright light going inside your eyes, it sends a signal to the brain not to switch on your melatonin. Now, if the melatonin is not switched on uh, as early as possible, like for example, you're going to lie down at 10 o'clock, by 11 o'clock, if the lights are off, your melatonin starts secreting, and then it starts attaining a peak level wherein you will be, it is an hormone wherein you will feel sleepy also. So as you are sleeping, now there is another process happening in your body is your detoxification. That means all your organs want to reset. It's like, any machines, we just reset it so that it can redo its job the next day much more optimally and much more easily it can do. So it is something called resetting. The same way our body also have to reset for the next day. Now, when you're talking about the resetting to the next day, there are situations where the major organs like your liver, your kidneys, your intestines, all these guys would be actually want to recoup back. So what is happening is all the detoxification situation happening from 10 o'clock night, dinner, after your dinner, I'm talking 10 o'clock until early morning, the process of detoxification, rearranging, and your recell, the cells being reborn, all this happen at night time when you're fast asleep. And there is a lot of healing happening. Now, this is a very, very important area which most of us, like if you do not sleep for a minimum of 4 to 5 hours, a good deep sleep without any disturbance, how your body is going to heal. There is something called oxidative stress, which we are going through during the daytime, and with the food we are eating, with the processed food we are eating, and with the ready-made food, what we eat from a restaurant, all these are all putting a toll on your cellular health, and that in turn needs to be healed. So in that way, if I just go back once again to your dinner time, if you're going to eat a little heavy meal, for example, with a lot of non-vegetarian, if you're going to eat, you just imagine yourself when there is a churning of your food is happening in your stomach naturally will produce hydrochloric acid. That means acid is being produced inside naturally. Now, if your food also is acidic with a lot of oil, wherein it is a fried item you're eating, now what is happening is acid and then acidic food by itself will create more acidity inside your stomach. And then there will be a little bit of damage happening to the first layer of your mucosa, which will definitely go into a something like, like an inflammation, which will happen because of the lot of acid being produced inside the stomach. Now, as after it is done, then of course there needs to be a healing, right? Now, if you do not sleep, probably let's imagine you're working, or probably you're busy watching your programs, or you're busy on WhatsApp or on social media. Now, what's happening is after your digestion process have finished, your stomach is empty now. It is supposed to heal, right? Because of the high acid content, it's supposed to heal on its own. Now, what's happening? You're not sleeping as on time schedule. Now, how the body is going to heal back? The body will heal only when you sleep. That's the only way you can help your body. Now, just imagine you're going to sleep at around early in the morning at 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock, or you don't sleep at all, or you are almost all the time awake for whatever the reasons are, then also your healing process will not take place. Now, if there is no healing process, maybe the first day your body will still be okay, no problem. The next day, you imagine once again you're going to consume a little bit of oily food and acidic food in the morning, and once again at nighttime also you're going to have the second time once again. Now, this is the reason, if you look at a lot of people today's world, you will see every other person, they will say, doctor, I have gastritis. Now they feel so proud that they have gastritis, and they feel it's normal to have gastritis. But if gastritis is just such a simple situation wherein you feel a little bit of burning sensation, and then you pop in, most of the time you would have seen most of the, when you go to a doctor, they would give you that white color medicine, and then it's a liquid wherein you just pop in, and then you'll feel little nice. It's like ice cooling effect. But sometimes they might give you some tablets which also will reduce the amount of acid. Now just imagine you're eating your food, you have taken an anti-gastric medicine. Now, the moment you take an anti-gastric medicine, the acid production by your stomach will be stopped. It won't produce your acid, but your food is already going in, right? When your food is going inside and then they need to digest the food, they definitely need a little bit of hydrochloric acid. Definitely they need it, but we have already taken the medicine and then we have put a full stop to that. Now, if just imagine that you're going to continuously take for 10 days anti-gastric medication. What will happen? Definitely, there is some situation where your body will think, why this person is taking this particular tablet and I'm supposed to produce the acid, and while digestion, I'm supposed to switch it on, right? Your brain also will be a little confused. It is supposed to switch on, but you're taking a tablet which stops your production of gastric juices. So in that way, if you look at in a long run, definitely we all will face problems. Now, why your body has to produce a little more acid than normal, and why should it produce acid is basically, it's on one side it's for the digestion, on one side it is a protection for us, because in acid, especially the organisms, none of the organisms can sustain, so they will all die the moment it goes into the stomach. It will die because of the acid. Now, if you can have a more of an alkaline diet at night time, don't you think you're helping your body for it to digest more easily? And then very important, most of I think once in a lifetime you all would have experienced it, especially you are fully sleeping, and suddenly early morning 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock you will see that something like an acid coming down into your throat, and then suddenly it will wake you up. It's because the moment acid comes up, it's flowing up, automatically your especially when it comes above near the throat behind, it is connected to your ears. The nerves are connected to your ears, and immediately the signal will go to your ears, and that anything related with the ear, you will awake, you will be awakened. Anything related to the ear, it can be a sound, it can be any organ, an insect going inside your ear, immediately you will wake up, because God has created in such a way that we are supposed to be little alert. Now this acid, why is it coming up? Because the food what you have eaten is something acidic, and that too it is on the later part of your dinner timing you're having. So automatically the process is still going on, and by the time you go to sleep at around 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock early morning, just another 1-2 hours, the acid will start refluxing. It's called reflux. So in fact, we will have reflux. People know that it is a reflux, but when it is on a regular basis, it's called reflux esophagitis. Means the food pipe is also becoming acidic. Now just imagine, many times you might have a little bit burning sensation in your throat behind in your chest, but the moment that particular portion has got an irritation, that in turn will irritate in front is your windpipe, your breathing apparatus. Suddenly you might feel that you want a little more air, and you will start breathless and you will wake up. Now the reason is, it's a simple because of your acidity. And sometimes I have seen a few people coming and presenting with the voice change. It's because of the reflux. Now, like this, there are problems which we all will face, especially if you do not take care of your dinner, and especially the timings, and especially the food what you eat. So you need to plan properly. Then I was talking to you about the melatonin. So now melatonin is something so beautifully, it's like something like a very beautiful, we call it as a circadian rhythm, wherein it has a specific methodology of giving information and making your body to do certain things when you're asleep. There is a cycle, we call it as a circadian cycle. Now this cycle will on only when your melatonin is at its peak. That means after you sleep, switch off the light, in 1 hour's time, the melatonin starts coming in. And after that, slowly in the next 2-3 hours to 4 hours, it just picks up to the peak. Now, when it is at the peak and you're in your deep sleep, that is when your whole body organ starts resetting itself and recouping itself and healing itself and regenerating itself. All this happens when you're in a deep sleep. Now, for example, you are not in your deep sleep. Definitely healing won't be fully optimal. There will be some disturbance in the healing process also. It's like, just imagine you want to sleep and you have switched off the light and someone comes on and every now and then switches on the light, a bright light, and switches on and off every time. What will happen? Your sleep will be disturbed. It's something like that. So especially when you're talking about melatonin production, It is a natural process, and we need to allow the body to produce it, which will happen only when you switch off the lights. Now, there's another problem we all face is we would have switched off the light, but the mobile phone is still on. And can you believe now they are talking about the blue light, right? Now, if you look at the blue light, definitely your melatonin will never be on. Now, that is where if you see on the Facebook and other online portals, you will see that now people are selling uh, glasses with Blu-ray protection. Now, this is a gimmick they are all playing. They are on one side, they will give you a mobile phone and say, use it. On the other side, they'll say, no, I will give you a glass also, which is protecting the blue. Now, why at all we need to switch on the phone when we are supposed to lie down and sleep? Now, so this is where you need to be very, very careful, and you have to have some very disciplined kind of lifestyle, especially the sleeping pattern. If your sleeping pattern is not good, let me tell you, whatever you do, you can wake up in the morning, you can eat a good breakfast, you can have a good lunch, you can have a good job, you can have good money. Nothing is going to recoup back, because you will not be able to buy yourselves the required health it needs through your money. It cannot. You first of all cannot buy health with your money, whatever you have. No, so what's happening is you need to be so very selfish in your life that you have to plan your life. You have to program your life according. Of course, I'm not coming into your job where, what kind of job you're doing, what time you're coming back. All these is you have chosen it. So you have to be there with those kind of companies. But at the end of the day, plan your journey. Now, most of the time we are all burdened. Of course, we have a family, we have our children, then we have our parents. Now, there are so many areas as a single person, if you look at, we need to look into so many areas. When you go to your office, of course, your boss is there, your accountant. There are so many areas which we all have to balance it. It is difficult, I understand, but who is going to take care of your body? Tomorrow, if something goes wrong, you think your company will come and say, okay, fine, I will pay you 200,000, you can go and buy a kidney and come, or maybe I pay you 300,000, you go replace your heart because you have a heart problem. Nobody is going to do that. In that way, it's always better. You need to plan everything, especially why I'm very, very specifically repeatedly telling is your sleep plays a very, very important role in your health. If you don't invest time for your sleep today, definitely in the next 20, 30 years, you will face problem. Now, today you tell me how many people who are all in the 60s and 70s and 80s who can sleep very comfortably the moment they go to bed, they go have a very deep sleep. And how many people above 50 years are very healthy without any medical ailments? Now, when you look at it, it's a very, very small percentage. Now, why is that? It's because there are a lot of situations which they didn't actually look into it in the when they were in the younger age group. They didn't look into it. So it's always better. Even today, let me tell you, it's not too late. Let's start something today. And in that way, coming back to the melatonin once again. Now the melatonin goes to a peak, right? It goes to a peak up around 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, or 6 o'clock. Now just let us imagine that you suddenly woke up at around 6 o'clock. Now, the moment you get up at 6 o'clock, do you know the melatonin has to come down once again back to its normal, so that the moment you open your eyes and your system shuts down all your recouping, regenerating, and all those situations, it has to switch off, right? There is a button for it. Now, what button is that? It is the melatonin button. Now, melatonin for the next 1 hour, just listen to me, just for the next 1 hour, you got up at 6 o'clock until 7 o'clock. The process of whatever the detoxification, switching off mechanism, and slowing down all happens in the next 1 hour. So that means 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock, you are not supposed to drink anything, eat anything. Can you believe this? You're not supposed to. Why? The reason is your system is shutting down with all the process which already was initiated when you started sleeping, and when the melatonin was at the high peak. Yeah, there was a lot of detoxification. All those was happening. Now, it needs to shut down, right? The moment before your melatonin can come to a normal level or the lower level, imagine just morning, as soon as 6 o'clock you get up and 6:15 you have a hot coffee. What will happen? The system will be thinking, I'm still shutting down and it needs a little more time for me to shut down. This person is once again drinking something, that too a beautiful bed coffee will be drinking. Is that good? Definitely it is not good. The reason is you're not allowing your body. Now, these are all naturally created situation. Now, if you're going to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, 1 hour, the next 1 hour, you cannot drink anything, especially hot coffee, tea, or you cannot eat anything. But what are we doing? Almost everybody, the moment we get up, we need a bed coffee and we don't even see the timing. Now just imagine what your body will be thinking. Every day we do this, your body will be definitely confused. Now this confusion is the reason there are a lot of heavy things happening in your body. And one fine day when you go to a doctor and you say, doctor, I have this problem, and suddenly he also does some investigation and he will just beautifully say, yes, ma'am, you have, they will diagnose you with either stage 3 cancer, stage 4 cancer, either you have a blood pressure or diabetes, or some autoimmune diseases. The names will be very fancy and sometimes very fearsome, but why it has to happen? Why should your body go into all this and then bring you into that stage? Is because there are a lot of small natural things in God's creation. It is to be followed, but we don't follow it. So what are we supposed to do, doc? We are waking up in the morning at around 5 o'clock. Until 6 o'clock, we are telling us, don't drink anything. Yeah, fine, good enough. Brush your teeth. The first 15 minutes, I would request you, why not you do some breathing? Just do a little bit of breathing exercises. And now breathing exercise, as I have been telling, repeatedly telling, very simple is 5 seconds, 5 seconds, and 10 seconds. So 5 seconds, you take a deep breath. 5 seconds, you hold the breath. 10 seconds, you leave the breath. Can you do this for the next 15 minutes when after you get up? It can be done. Now, after the 15 minutes, you need to do a little bit of back stretching. I always say the back stretching is put your leg on the wall, the L shape, and you lie down flat. Stay in that position for around 15 minutes. Your back gets stretched. Now, of course, people with disc prolapse, they are all not the people where I'm talking to about. What I'm telling is a normal people who don't have much issues. These are the routine you all can start doing it. Now, once you finish your 15 minutes of stretching, the next 15 minutes you can either go for a Zumba dance, you can go for a yoga, you can go for a little treadmill walk, you can do a little bit of weightlifting. This 1 hour you can finish off, isn't it? By the time you finish your 1 hour of whatever basic exercises you do, and then get into, after 1 hour of waking up, then get into whether you want to have your breakfast, you want to have your coffee, you want to have your tea, it's up to you. Now, this should be the way we all need to practice, so that it's more easier for your body to recoup back, and you're giving an opportunity for your body to help itself. See, ultimately you have to help your body, but most of the time what is happening is we do not value our body. This is a problem which we all have, and what we do is we are just so careless in our day-to-day routine that many a times we all face certain diseases at a later part, and then after that, that is when our enlightenment will start, and then we'll start running from pillar to post to look for solutions. See, once a problem sets in and then you look for a solution is a different ball game. Why at all you want to allow that situation to happen? But in spite of all this regular disciplined routine you are going through, let me tell you, you may be in that 1% of the world population wherein you will be prone for some diseases. It can be cancer or a blood pressure, any disease. If by chance you're going to get that, it's still okay. The reason is this particular body, nobody, when we are born, we don't make an agreement while we are coming here, sir, that we are not going to get any diseases and we are not going to meet with any small accidents or injuries. We just come as a beautiful being. So in the process of living on this planet Earth, we all have to go through that, isn't it? If it is a situation happening, it's still okay. It's only for the body, isn't it? The spirit, our spirit doesn't have any of those issues. So in that way, we still can heal ourselves. So if at all you can practice a proper breathing technique, That itself is a major breakthrough for healing, because do you know that most of the people, especially 90% of the people, do not breathe properly? Now, why they don't breathe properly? It's called something called an hurried breathing. Or if you can just understand that a pregnant lady, how she will breathe actually when she is having a baby in her tummy, how she will breathe, her lungs cannot expand fully. So what will happen is it will be a short breath breathing. It will be a very, very short breath. She can't breathe, taking in deep breath cannot. But on the other side, a woman who is not pregnant, a man who doesn't become pregnant also still breathes like a pregnant lady with short breaths, then how your lungs will expand? And you have never done an expansive breathing, taking in a deep breath and expanding your lungs. When you don't do it, and one fine day you want to go for trekking or you want to climb the stairs up, how is your lung going to expand? It will not expand unless you practice it. Now, this is where I would definitely request every one of you early in the morning, as soon as you get up, 15 minutes breathing, 15 minutes stretching, the next 30 minutes, do some, you can do any, which one you like. You can switch on your YouTube also. There are a lot of simple exercises which they are teaching. Just go ahead and do. Yoga is another wonderful tool where you can actually be flexible, you can tone your muscle, you can strengthen your muscle, and you can become more flexible by doing yoga. So you can practice, which is more. For this, you don't need a yoga master for you to teach you all that, because simple exercise for the basic beginners, there are a lot of videos available on the YouTube. You still can follow them. So here, what does my message to you all will be is, the melatonin hormone is such a beautiful, natural, God-given hormone for us to sleep. Of course, today there are a lot of companies selling that melatonin tablets, especially people who say, I cannot sleep. They just prescribe that. But in Malaysia, it's not available. But abroad, they are still selling that because melatonin can put you to sleep. But the reason why you cannot sleep, just go back to your reasons and see why you cannot sleep. Is one of the main reasons most of us don't sleep is because our mind is fully occupied with too much of information, and the information what is not at all useful for us in our day-to-day life, we will be thinking about it, talking about it, discussing about it, and at the end of the day getting angry about it. Just like, for example, if you are going to discuss something today, like what's happening in Ukraine, why is Russia invading Ukraine, how many people, and that too, you will be in WhatsApp, you will be bombarded with all those videos where people are being killed, like bodies being burned. It is a very, very sad situation. But we as human beings, can you and I, sitting in Malaysia, can we go and stop the war? No, we can't. So what else can you do? You and I, the only thing we all can do is we can only pray the divine and ask for forgiveness to the people who are doing all this, and give a strength for those people who are suffering down there. This is the only thing you can do. Now, in the 24 hours, how many minutes can you pray for them? Maybe you can pray for 15 minutes, 30 minutes. It's still okay. You can have some group prayers, for those souls there to become, to have the strength to face this situation. But on the other side, if you and I, wherever we meet in a coffee shop and we go on discussing about this, what's happening? There is no solution. See, at the end of the day, you can speak 1 hour about whatever is happening there. We don't have any solutions, and we can't give solutions also. Now your mind is fully working, then you come back home and you want to sleep also, your mind is still disturbed because you are still carrying those whatever discussions or memories along with you and to your bed. Now this is a very important aspect in every one of our life, is we need to know how to cut off those situations, especially working men or women. Whatever situations in your office, the moment you leave your office, you should know how to cut those vibrations there in the office, and when you come back home, it's a different atmosphere. This is how you, if you can practice those little bit of situation where how do you delineate your situation in an office and come back home, it should be a different, you don't carry that to your home. Now when we can start practicing all these simple techniques, I think we all can sleep naturally. I don't know, until today I have never had any issues with my sleep, because the moment I sleep, I will just go deep sleep actually. But out there, of course, there are a lot of people, day in and out. I do see in my clinic also a lot of people who come and say they can't sleep. Younger people, 30 years, 35 years, they say they can't sleep. Now, what is the reason? Maybe from their childhood, there are a lot of maybe childhood traumas or situations out there in the office, or we do not know. But still, what I would request you is for you to change. Simplest thing, start doing the breathing exercise. You have to practice this, because without practicing it, nothing is going to come back. Then probably the exercise, what I said. Then have a good breakfast. Now, very important in the morning, try not to eat too oily food in the morning also. I don't prefer you all eating too much of oily food also. The reason is, especially the oil, if at all you're eating in a restaurant, what kind of oil are they using? Are they going to use grapeseed oil, or high-end oil, like it could be even a virgin coconut oil? Do you think they are all going to use? No, they'll be using the 2 ringgit 50 cents oil, which is available in the packets. That's the one they are going to use. Have you ever noticed when you buy a 2 ringgit 50 cents oil, you put your hand into it and take it out, and then you try to wash your hands? You know how much of soap you need to use? Now just imagine you're going to, someone is going to fry your food in that oil, and then you're going to eat that food inside. They put it inside your mouth and it goes into your stomach. What is happening? That same oil is going inside. You think inside your stomach, your stomach can produce some detergent, and you clean the oil and then only take the nutrients from the food, whatever you eat. Can that happen in your body? No. Now, what the body will be thinking, this fellow is eating so much of oily food, what am I going to? So it has to produce more mucus for the oil to be cleared up. Now, little bit of oil, maybe it's still okay. Your body will pick up those important nutrients from the oil and then use it for your body. But such of those, we call it as rancid oil. How your body is going to? Now, these are the oils which, the moment you enter it, your body turns into toxic fat. This toxic fat definitely is not good for you. Have you seen a lot of people with a big stomach? Now, how much ever fasting they do, they can do even the, what is that, whatever exercises they do, their stomach won't come down. Now, why is this? Because the toxic fat removal itself is another technique wherein you need to enhance the quality of the liver function. Now, how many of you would be eating a lot of green leaves, especially the leaves which are more for beneficial for the liver? Is, it's, the name is called niruri. Actually, this niruri leaf, you can see all on the roadside. It is easily grown. Now, if you can get this niruri, the name is niruri, you can type it on Google and you can get that. And if you can get this niruri leaves, now this is something which you all can consume weekly once or twice. A little bit of those leaves, wash it and then boil it and drink the juice, or even chew that leaves, and then swallow it. Definitely, it will give a lot of nutritional support to your liver. Now, this is very, very important. For the reason is, in your liver, it needs a lot of nutrition for it to do the detoxification. For that, unless you're going to do a little bit of supportive nutrients, if you don't give for your liver and you're only eating oily food, and untimely food, when you do that, how will it be possible? How will it be possible for your body to recoup back? Now, coming back, once the liver does the detoxification, it will throw out everything. The second situation where is, before I go to the kidneys, now there is something for this particular, this one is Niruri, 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 Niruri. It's called Niruri, and it's small leaves. It will be like a touch me not plant, but it is not touch me not plant. What you can see is just below the leaf, in the stem, in that small stem in the center, you can see small like berries like thing, green color. It will be there behind, all small, like mustard seed size. Now this is the niruri leaf, and this is something very naturally available, and it grows like wild plant anywhere. The moment you pick one and put it in your pot also, it will start growing. And this is for your liver. Now, after the liver throws out all the toxins, what happens is your kidney has to take up and then clean it up, and then the kidney has to clear it through the urine, especially the heavy metals and all. The kidney also has to throw it out. Now your kidney needs sufficient amount of water, isn't it? This is where terahertz plays such a beautiful role, because terahertz molecular structure is so small. It's around 7.6 hertz, and molecular structure is also 2 nanometers, which is so small. Now it can go into the cell, but here what we are looking at is, if your kidneys is given the required amount of water for it to cleanse it, the detoxed, whatever the liver has given back to the throwing it out, your kidney will be able to clear it up more easily. Now, many times you would notice that we are not even drinking sufficient amount of water, isn't it? Dehydration is one of the major problem which we human beings are facing in and out every day. In spite of drinking terahertz water, we still face a lot of situation, because there are other nutrients which we need to look into nutrients. So it's not that just because someone is going to drink terahertz water that everything is going to change, but we are seeing a lot of wonderful benefits when a person drinks terahertz water. Their health benefits have been so beautiful that they do come and share with us that, doctor, this has happened, the skin diseases. Yes, it's all beautiful, wonderful. Probably their eating habits and the nutrition support, what they are taking is good enough that the body recoups back. But some people are genetically very good, that just by drinking the water, there all those disease processes would have cleared up and then they become healthy. But that is the genetic. Not everybody will be lucky enough that just by drinking terahertz water, all this disease, especially the disease situation, will be cleared. Is not a surety. Now, this is where most of you all probably, when you recommend the water, and when people drink, they will come back. Like yesterday, there was one person who came and said this particular person was around 70 years old, and he has been drinking this water for 5 days, and after fifth day he started getting giddiness. So what has happened is, this person has told, he is a doctor, and he has told this person who gave the water, you gave me this water and today I'm having this giddiness, I don't think this is good enough. And then he has stopped drinking the water. So this person called me and asked me, Dr. Prabhu, this is the situation. He's a doctor by himself, and he's coming and telling me that his giddiness, he got giddiness after drinking the water. Then I told him very clearly, look, number one is, what is his age? I asked. He says 70 plus. Okay, 70 plus. And the second situation is, I asked him, does he have any disease? He said he didn't give me any medical history. But I said, this water by itself, why should it go and create a imbalance in his ears, wherein he creates giddiness? Why should it do that? Then I was just thinking, what could have happened? Now, what could have happened? Probably, I'm just looking at is, when you drink this water, definitely in our system, cellular system, we have sodium, potassium, and chloride. These three are very important ions, which will have to be in a very, very balanced way inside the cell and outside the cell. Now, the moment you drink in probably the terahertz water, after drinking it, there can be a little bit of imbalances happening, because already his nutritional status would be low. Now, the moment he drinks water also, definitely there will be some situation wherein there is a little bit imbalance happening. Now, in this particular patient today, when I called up and asked him what exactly is, how is he feeling? Today he is okay. Today is the 7th day. He feels okay. Then I asked him, what are the medical history? Then he is telling me that 2 years ago, he did have giddiness. Now, the question is, 2 years ago, you never drank terahertz water, but you had giddiness, isn't it? Now, this is a common situation. Most of us, you and I, or any of you all, especially when you're recommending terahertz water, you will have to be a little alert in this situation, because most of the human beings will not tell you that they have some previous diseases or previous situation. I would always put it in a very blunt languages. These people, when they come and meet, is all with a lot of junk situation. They will come, they will drink the water, immediately they have some problem, they will blame the water. Actually, the water is not the problem to be blamed. We need to look into what are the other areas, why a water will create problem for you. But definitely There can be situation where there are some way your body will show back saying that at present either you reduce the water or you stop the water for a while. All this your body is going to talk to you. Are you sensible enough to receive the information what your body is talking to you? If you can do that, then you definitely know what to do. But most of the time we have become thick skin like a buffalo skin. Huh? We don't even know what our body is talking to us. We don't know. Your body tells something, you will be doing something. You will feel hungry, but you won't eat your food. You will feel cold, you won't switch on the aircon. There are a lot of situations like this. We don't. You feel thirsty, you won't drink water. Like that, most of the time we do not respond to our body, and that is where we start facing in a problem. So at the end of the day, what am I trying to tell is, it's not the terahertz water which is creating the problem. But let's be fair enough in our discussion. Out of maybe 100 people, maybe one person, while drinking the water, maybe it doesn't suit him because he has been drinking the regular water on one side and suddenly he pushes this water into his system. The system will just shut up and say, sorry, I don't need this. So it will start creating some reactions wherein you will feel very uncomfortable and you don't want to drink. That's it. And your mindset also will say, don't drink this water. It is causing a problem. But in majority of us, 99% of us, if you can consume this water in a probably in a staged manner, maybe start with 500 ml in the first day, with 100 ml in the morning, 100 ml in the afternoon, 100 ml in the evening, or 100 ml at night time, split into 5 times and then drink. Your body also will not even understand that you're drinking something different, but your body will try to balance the new concept you're trying to push in. It's like, change is something you and I won't accept it, right or wrong? Most of us, the moment there is a change, we don't accept it. Just like if your office timing is at 9 o'clock and your boss says, hey, no, from tomorrow you please come at 7 o'clock. So why should I come? I'm already used to 9 o'clock. We don't want to change. But when you're forced to, we will get changed. In the same way, our body also, when you change your food habits, when you change your sleeping habits, when you change your eating timing habits, your body also will feel, why this man, all the while he was doing this, why is he changing? So you need to give some time for the body to accommodate. But on one side, definitely, if at all, if anybody is going to drink terahertz water, most of the time it is quite safe for you to drink, most of the time. But if there are situations like heart problem, lung issues, kidney issues, now this is where you need a little guidance. I'm not telling you you're not supposed to drink. You can drink the water, but you need a little guidance for you to take when you're drinking this water. But sometimes you might be consuming a lot of medications, and then when you're trying to consume this water, you may face a little situation. This is where you can take our help, wherein we will try to assist you as to how you need to consume, because sometimes you may have to stop the water for some time so that let your body recoup back, and then you can start back the water. But most of the time you can be rest assured that by drinking this water, it is not a poison you're going to take and then that's going to create more problem. It is not. So in that way, it is safe for you to drink this water. But when it comes up to diseases, I would say we all have to be a little alert. And especially when you're recommending to people, just be a little more careful. And people with diseases, just be a little careful. Do not tell them that you're giving this water and this particular disease will get healed or cleared. You can give a situation to them. Yes, there are few people who have consumed, like for example, diabetes. It's much better now, under control now. All this you can say, you can share it. But for them, their body, we do not know. What kind of situation is in that, we do not know. So do not give any assurance. So let them drink the water. Try for at least a minimum period of 3 weeks to 4 weeks. Before that, nobody can even think of whether the water is working for them or not working for them, or is it good for them, we do not know. So we need to definitely give an option for our body to adapt to our situation. So in that way, my humble request to all of you would be is, start looking at changing your food habits, your timings of habit, the kind of food you eat, and the sleep. Very, very important, especially for the melatonin and especially for your healing to happen inside your body. Definitely you need to program yourself. Worst come worst, at least 12 o'clock sleep, but 12 o'clock shut off everything and go to sleep. and then wake up in the morning, do your breathing exercises, the other things, and then go to work, enjoy your life, because this is a life which as a human being, we are the only one which we can go to work, come back, enjoy with our family, go for outing. All these only we can do. Animals can do all this, and they don't have that kind of lifestyle. And in God's blessing that we are all a wonderful opportunity that we are here, and that too with terrace water all around with us. It's something unique, something new, something beautiful. It is good that on one side it's good for your health, on one side it's good for your business as well to move forward. There are a lot of positive things happening, but let's take everything in the positive manner, and then we start moving forward in our life to help ourselves. And saying that, I wish to conclude my sharing down here today. And then until I come back and see you next week with a new topic, have a wonderful weekend and a wonderful week ahead. And in the meantime, if there are any questions, please do pop it up and I will try to answer it. Thank you. Linda, over
Thanks.
to you.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Prabhu. Thank you for your sharing. Dr. Prabhu, there are two questions over here. One is, to a pancreas cancer patient, can the terrace water helps to improve his condition? And how does it help?
This is a cancer patient, right?
It's a pancreas
Pancreas
cancer.
cancer.
Yes.
Now, the first, when I read this, a pancreatic cancer is already an existing disease in the person, number one. Number two, the question there is, can Terra's water help to improve the condition? I would say definitely there will be an assistance in this particular situation for the reason. Now, if I have to ask a little more deeper, what is a stage of cancer? That will be number one. Number two, how old is the patient? That is number two. Number three, what is his present condition today? Now, if you look into all these, then if you're going to drink Terra's water, how much is it going to help? But let us talk in general. Cancer cells are created because there is lack of oxygen. Simple. Now, this water, when you drink, definitely on one side, it has got good energy in it. So that means there will be a good energy production when you drink this water. Definitely, yes, number one. Number two, being a cancer patient, definitely there will be some metabolic issues. Your body is trying to fight those areas where the cancer cells are. Your body is trying to fight. Now, when you drink Terra's water, what will happen is when there is a lubrication happening in every cell of your body, nutrients go inside and the detoxification happens naturally when you're drinking. But if you're going to drink a normal water and you're expecting those a cellular function to improve, it might be a little difficult. But with Terra's water, definitely there will be an improvement in terms of the metabolism of nutrition going inside your cell utilizing. Now, on one side, forget about the cancer cell. Let us assume the normal cells. See, if at all you want to fight over cancer, let me, in a very common layman's way of understanding, if I have to say, your normal cells are 100, okay? So the army is 100 people are there for you to fight. Now there is one cancer cell coming inside and trying to penetrate into your body. Don't you think your 100 cells, which is naturally normal, healthy, can go and attack the single cancer cell and then can do the needful to kill it? Yes, it can do. Just imagine 10 people are there, but these guys are 100 as there. Even there also, 10 people, still your 100 guys can do something and kill the cancer cells. But imagine if they are 50 and you are 100. So the fight is going to become a little more tough, isn't it? Because cancer cells are ruthless, The moment they start spreading, they'll be just whacking everything and this going on. And added to that, our eating habits, our thinking habits, our sleeping habits, all these also play a very important role. Genetic also plays an important role. Now, imagine you have 100 normal cells and 100 cancer cells. What will happen? These two guys have to, of course, fight. Let's assume that these 100 guys fought the 100 cells and then cleared up. Now, what happens? Your body has to produce some new cells, isn't it? Natural cells. Now, for that, what kind of nutrition are you taking? All this plays a very, very important. As I told you, if you're not going to sleep properly at night time, how your body is going to produce some more new normal cells for you to fight the cancer cells? Now, this is another problem we will be facing. Now, in a given situation, especially most of the time the cancer is diagnosed, by the time these guys, normal cells will be 100, those guys will be in thousands. How the 1,000 cancer cells are very easy, those guys will be going. Now, what the doctors are trying to do is, of course, they will try to do a chemotherapy, the radiotherapy, all this treatment. But do you think all the 1,000 cells, they will die? No, they are not going to die. Few will die, few will be still going and hiding also, because they are also thieves, right? They also want to escape from the main targets of our normal cells. So they will go hide down. And after some time, they will start coming out once again, the cancer. So in overall picture, what I would like to especially answer for this is, drinking this water definitely will help the person in general. But added to that, if whatever nutrition they are taking, definitely it would be a good opportunity for them to consume it. Now, there is another question is, why water retention seen a patient after taking terahertz water, the swollen legs heals and lesser pain. But what is the reason? What is the terahertz water to do? Okay, now this is something very interesting. But anyway, let me answer this. Okay, this particular person, I need to know what is the age. Most probably he must be a senior patient, means I think he must be above 70 years. I assume he's 70 plus. Now he's drinking terahertz water, right? Okay, fine. Now what we need to understand is, why is there a retention of water happening? Number one, how much of water is this patient drinking? I don't know. I don't know the answer. So I'm just giving a general perspective of what could be the problem there. Number one, how much of water is he drinking? Now, what is his kidney function at present? That is a number two I'll be looking into. But most probably, if by chance they say, oh, his doctor, his kidney function okay, liver function all okay, but still he has a leg swelling, that means the only reason I can look forward is his veins from the legs is not pushing the blood back up for it to move up. Now, when that happens, there is something called retention will happen. That means your blood will stay back there, and then from there the extracellular fluid, especially if you're thinking it's water, the slowly it will leak up, and that's why you will have leg swelling. Now, if you can lift your leg up and then sleep and keep it up while you're sitting down to watch a TV and all, most probably it will go. Now, in this situation, the problem will be is the valves inside the veins probably will be dysfunctioning. That is the reason. Now, you might ask, hey, all the while he didn't have all this problem. But let me tell you, all the while, yes, he didn't have the problem, but you didn't have a situation where for you to see this. It was just like, it just happened because after you drank the water, yes, the situation has happened. But so what I would look into is, I need a little more history about this particular person. Number one, maybe the water he needs to reduce. Number one. Number two, the second option is put the legs up. Third option I would say is he can use stockings, especially for the legs, and that in turn can help the body, this one to push back the blood and thereby reduce heel swelling. That is, these are all only a superficial thing, but they want a little more deeper answer, they can call up and speak to me.
No, Dr. Prabhu, actually his question is that after drinking our water, it is actually the swollen heels and the leg is less painful, and he's asking what's the reason.
Okay,
so
now
before that he has a retention, but after drinking the terahertz water, the swollen is healed and it is less painful. What is the reason?
But he has a swelling of the ankles, right?
He has a swelling, but after drinking our water, it actually heals.
Okay.
That means our water actually helps him to reduce the retention of the water, and also it has less painful in the leg. Hey, so they are asking you what's the reason behind, and how does the terahertz water helps to improve this.
Okay. I was talking the other way around. It's still yes, okay. Correct. For this also, I will give an answer. It's very simple and easy. Number one is, especially when your blood is thick, the viscosity is thick, probably there will be a little bit of uric acid. The uric acid is the only one which most of the time will cause inflammation, swelling, and especially in the ankles or small joints can be there. But when you drink terahertz water, what will happen is the absorption of those, especially the uric acid, is cleansing happens more easily. Terahertz, I have seen a lot of people, uric acid goes down, and the swelling will come down. As of course, like your body knows how to, anti-inflammatory effect is already there in the water. And number two is your body knows how to heal itself, right? You're given the water, so the metabolism is improved. This is the only answer I can give. Number one is metabolism. Number two is the uric acid dilution. So that means your thick blood or acidic blood has become alkaline. That's the only reason. Otherwise, why it should come down? So that's a good news.
Yes, that's the good news. So another question, when wake up at 6 a.m., I need to drink warm terahertz water. Can I say I can only drink at 7 a.m.? Please
Absolutely.
advise.
No, the reason why I gave was very simple, Linda. Number one, the moment you get up, the body has to switch off all the switches. It has to shut down its switches. It takes 1 hour for the body to switch off step by step and then come back. It's 1 hour. So it's always better that we can do. But if we are practicing, the moment we get up in the morning, a lot of people drinking water. But as long as you don't have any issues, I have no issues. But in reality, it's better to wait for 1 hour. So what I normally do is, after I get up, of course, I do all my exercises. And then, of course, I drink water a little late. But I would say maybe after 30 to 45 minutes, after we wake up, and then probably it should be okay. We are not machines, exactly 7 o'clock means we wait until 7 o'clock and we do. We are still be able to blend with our timings of, a little earlier, still okay with it. It's not a problem.
Oh, so it doesn't mean that we have to wait 1 hour before we start to drink the water.
Absolutely. No, but immediately as soon as you get up, don't drink the water because your body is still shutting up, So give it a time of around 15 to 30 minutes, at least minimum, for it to do its job. I think by the time you wash your face, brush your teeth and come back and do the little bit of breathing exercise, it should be good enough, right?
Okay, I understand. Doc, can chemo, are you at the chat, Dr. Prabhu?
Yeah, I'm seeing the chat box.
There's one from Ruth. I can't pronounce that name. Will help with terahertz water.
Now, diseases, frankly, like this person, thrombocytopenia. These are all related with our body. Like, for example, thrombocytopenia, your bones. We are talking much more deeper in the cellular health. We are talking about the disease, and then we are looking at relief from the water. But I would say, instead of looking at benefits of the disease by drinking this water, I would say, in an overall picture, when you drink water, your system will start functioning in a normal way. So let's drink water in terms of helping your body to recoup back. This should be our aim, rather than we look at a disease and then, treatment of a disease through water. I don't know if that becomes a boon for us. Then we all will have to just open up a terahertz water machines, and then we all just go drink that, and then no diseases there.
Yes,
it should be that way.
Okay, doctor says earlier that sleep is very important. Some people says everyone must sleep by 11 each night. Is it true? And what
Absolutely.
is the...
No, 11 o'clock is still late, 10 o'clock will be ideal. 10 will be ideal. Waking up morning, 4 o'clock will be very, very good.
Waking up at 4 a.m.?
Yeah, actually, normally I get up around 4:30 to 5 o'clock. That's my normal
okay.
timing.
So you still encourage sleeping at 10 and wake up at 4?
Yeah, but still here, Linda, let us be a little fair, Most of us are all working adults, and then, our schedules are tight. Yes. I would give a cutoff timing at around 12 o'clock midnight. Before 12 o'clock, please switch off everything and then go to bed. It's still okay. At least wake up around 5 to 6 o'clock. 6 hours of sleep is good enough. But if you can give around 7 hours of ideal sleep, would be the best.
Okay. Okay, I think that's all for all the questions today. Thank you, Dr. Prabhu. Thank you for all your sharing. Hope to see you again next week, and looking forward for other topics. Yes.
Thank you, Linda. Have
Thank
a
you.
wonderful
Thank you,
evening
Dr.
and
Prabhu. Thank you,
good night. Good
everyone,
night.
for
Thank you.
attending the Zoom today. Hope to see
Thank
you
you.
all again next week on Sunday.
Thank you.
Goodbye and good night.